once, going twice, and we are live and saying hello to everybody out there on Facebook Live. Help me wave hello to them. Thanks, guys. Welcome, Facebook Live, to the Daily Antidote of Song. We are here on day 1007, celebrating the month of January with New Year, New Friends Month. So every day this month, we are having a new song leader who's never shared with us before. And today we're delighted that we're going to have Greta Ehrig of the Silver Spring, Maryland area. And more about Greta in just a moment. I want to say hi to everybody in the room as well. And also, wait, let's first give a big thanks to Carpe Diem Arts for keeping this amazing program going. Let's give a big thanks to Aaron Geyer for running the tech today. And let's give a big thanks to everybody in the room for being here, for showing up, for bringing your smiles and your love and your everything. So glad you guys are here. So hello and welcome, of course, to Aaron, who's in Brooklyn, New York. Thanks for being here, Aaron, and Greta, who's in Silver Spring, Maryland. Hi, Mabel and the Bears in Massachusetts, and Julie in Ontario, and Trish in Victoria, and Arlene in Berkeley. Hello, Richie and Jim. Nice to see both of you together. Richie, great, glad to see you. And Jim is actually Greta's partner, so we're glad that he's here today, cheering Greta on. Sheila in Florida, hello, nice to see you. George and Carol, hello, nice to have you today. I'm not sure if you guys are new today. Leah in Illinois, hello. Storm in Mass, Luda and Mark in Victoria. Hi, Amanda and Miles in Michigan. Hi, Kathleen in Albuquerque. Hello, Susan in Ohio, and Dory and Ollie maybe. Jim in New York City, hello. Ruth in Birmingham, UK. Carolyn in Boise, Idaho, with our 1007 sign. Thank you. Bronwyn in Victoria, hello. And Bonnie in Boise, Idaho. Sarah in Texas. Jean in Pittsburgh. Sandy Moore in Maryland. Nice to see you, around the corner neighbor. Deborah in Kentucky. Nice to see you today. Not exactly an around the corner neighbor. Bruce Baker, nice to have you with us today. And I think you've been here maybe once or twice before, but I'm glad you're here. Dan in Virginia. Hello, nice to see you. Kathy and maybe Stormy. And Cynthia and Dorothy, hello. Nice to see you guys today. Maybe also new to us. Carolyn, Connecticut, hello. Deli in Maryland. Nancy's Irish cow in Washington State, without the cow, but with the Nancy. Hi, Annette in California. Hi, Kat Cox in Vermont. Hello, Linda on Orcas Island. Kate in Florida. We're actually getting to see Kate today. This is Kate, our traveling person who comes in from Europe and Florida and all over the zone. Hi, Julie and Alec. Julie, I think I said hello to you in Ontario. And folks off video today, Aloysius and Caroline in DC, Jenny in Suffolk, UK. Who else is here? Bob in Mass, the Curly Tops in Vermont, Shari in New Hampshire, Isabel in Florida. Oh, not connected to audio yet. Lynn in Connecticut, Martha in Oregon, Cats Meow, I think might also be new to us today. And Shelly and Jane coming in from Texas, and Lynn still popping in the room in Vermont. Let's all take a deep breath. Oh, there's Hoda. Thank you for being here, Hoda. And Busy Graham, Carpe Diem Arts, nice to see you. And Deb, oh wow, people are still like popping in. Kim in New Hampshire, and Kim Wallach is one of our song leaders, and Trish in Victoria. And now I think I said hello to everybody. Linda Buena still coming in the room. Deep breath. Wait, we got to move quickly before any more people come in. Welcome, everybody. So glad to see such a nice turnout and see all of your smiling faces. Super excited to bring to the screen and to the stage here Greta Ehrig, coming in from Silver Spring, Maryland, or maybe Tacoma Park, actually. I didn't actually ask. And can we please have you here and ready to go? Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here, and I'm so happy to see all of your smiling faces. Um, I think I've
Well,
brought in a few new folks today, and I'm excited to see you guys here. Thank you. You'll
yay.
find it to be a really great experience, I hope. Uh, the song that we're going to sing is called Giotto's Song, Paint Your Dreams, and it's about the legend of Giotto when he was a boy. He was a painter during the 13th century, and the main part of the chorus goes like this. I'm going to play it on my little device here, but I'll play it on the guitar later. Um, but your part goes like this. Ooh, paint your dreams. Ooh, ooh, paint your dreams. Ooh. Let's do that again. Ooh, paint your dreams. Ooh. paint your dreams. Ooh. So Joe, I just wanted to let you know that I'm seeing the pop-ups for like the mod for the leader or the moderator. Is that normal? Should I be
Yep.
seeing that on my screen?
Yep.
Okay, okay, great. Um, all right, and then the harmony part goes like this. Ooh, paint your dreams. Ooh, ooh, paint your dreams. Ooh. One more time on that. And of course, you can make up your own harmony. It's a pretty straightforward chorus, so feel free to sing something other. Ooh, paint your dreams. Ooh, ooh, paint your dreams. Ooh. Right. So this is Giotto's childhood story. When Giotto was a shepherd boy, he liked making pictures of sheep on the earth next to the river under the cypress trees. But the wind and the rain always came to erase the artwork he made, and his secret wish was hidden away, a wish simply to paint. Ooh, paint your dreams. Ooh, ooh, paint your dreams. Ooh. One day Giotto lost a lamb, and his dad was really mad. The thought of that lamb all alone made young Giotto sad. But then a great painter showed the boy how to make frescos of flowers. Ground up rocks mixed with eggs gave him magical powers. Ooh, paint your dreams. Ooh, ooh, paint your dreams. Ooh. He painted a sheep so lifelike, the lost lamb said, "Mama." Giotto went to Florence to study, which really was quite an honor. Now in Italy's painting rooms, we see Giotto's dreams come to life in azure gold, crimson, amber, and green. Sing it. Ooh, paint your dreams. Ooh, paint your dreams. Ooh, again. Ooh, paint your dreams.
Wow, Greta, thank you so much. That was glorious. So, so lovely to sing. And I realized as soon as we started singing it that I neglected to say two things before we started today, which I do want to say immediately so that you can sort of place Greta into a space in which she resides as a multidisciplinary artist. So, in addition to the singer-songwriter, Greta is also a visual artist, a poet, and actually has a background in dance and theater. And so all of that you could hear in that song. But I forgot to tell you all that Greta has a plan for you. And so while I'm babbling for the next moment, please, if you didn't see the note in the chat before you came in, please grab your pens, pencils, sketchbooks, sticky notes, back of an envelope, whatever it is, because Greta's going to take us on a little multidisciplinary art journey. And I'm super excited about that today. So while you're all acquiring your belongings, I'm going to stall for a moment and let's all take another deep breath because thank you, Greta, for the beautiful That song definitely resides in a space of breath, and I was really loving the softness of the chorus repeating, but also Greta invited us to make up our own harmonies. I love when people do that because it's like the permission slip to sort of like take little chances artistically in our own space, in our own way, with nobody having to hear our mistakes or us maybe even deciding we like our mistakes. And there were beautiful other harmonies and other ways of expressing that chorus. And Greta, it was such a beautiful journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
So we are here today on what I believe is the day before the anniversary of Giotto's death date. And so for folks in the room who probably all know this, but let's see hands. How many people are familiar with the work of Giotto? Giotto. Is it Renaissance, Italian Renaissance painting, or he's pre-Renaissance?
He's pre-Renaissance. He was considered sort of a bridge between the medieval period and the Gothic period, moving into the Renaissance. Back in that day, things were a little bit more flat, a little bit more decorative, and when Giotto came onto the scene, he painted in a much more lifelike way, more realistic, more voluminous, to the point where his figures felt almost sculptural. And so in the legend, he painted a sheep so lifelike that the little lost lamb came back. There's another legend that he painted a fly and a portrait of Cimabue, potentially his teacher, his master painter before him, that he painted a fly on his portrait, and Cimabue came back and kept trying to shoo the fly off of the painting.
That's
True
great.
or not, we'll see. But we don't really know. But you can imagine. So yeah, he was a bridge between the periods, and I co-wrote this song with some songwriting students of mine. They were elementary school students in an after-school and summer program at Harmony Hills Elementary School here in Maryland. And we took a look at this book called A Boy Named Giotto, and it was written by an art historian about Giotto, and illustrated, I believe, by his illustrator wife. And after studying the life of Giotto, we co-wrote the song together, up on a board with a big sheet of paper, and everybody sort of feeding in possibilities for rhymes and possibilities for where the story could go. And it just sort of evolved into this song. And then we recorded the song as part of the process and performed the song together. And it was just so great. I mean, these kids were a lot of, sort of like with the Carpe Diem arts program, a lot of these were underserved kids who wouldn't have music lessons otherwise. I can't say enough good things about Carpe Diem and the good work that they do with children, especially, and bringing the arts into their lives and helping them to find their creative impulses. And of course, we all have our own inner children with our own creativity and things that we like to do. And so we'll come back to that in a little bit before we sing the song again later.
Great, thank you, Greta. That's absolutely. So I have to say, when you were talking about the sheep and the Giotto painting, I was thinking of the Little Prince and the "If you please draw me a sheep," where the sheep is going to be drawn in the box, and the little prince, yeah, and where the sheep is going to be drawn, but then they don't meet his needs, so he draws the box, and then even though you don't see the sheep is lifelike inside the box, and so yeah, I think there's some great. I never knew that story about the sheep in Giotto, so now I'm wondering if. Exupéry or Saint Antoine d'Exupéry or whatever, I'm saying his name wrong, I'm sure, whether or not he knew that story and if there was some overlap there, and it would be fun to check that out. I was also going to ask you, let me see, you said something about, about Giotto and his place in painting history. So I also studied art history when I was in college, and have in my head that Giotto came in that place where they were starting to, I don't know, play with perspective, and the halos on the heads stopped being like behind their heads and like turned into sort of like funny little frisbees over their heads, and then eventually became like the dimensional frisbee with circles, like gold rings. And do I have that right? Was that he involved in that?
I don't know about that for sure, but I know in some of the reading that I have done about him, the halos were still sort of like this, but they did sort of stand out a whole bunch because because the rest of the bodies were so lifelike and voluminous, and the folds of the cloth fell like it would fall naturally in life, as opposed to in some imagined way. And but he did play around with foreshortening body parts and things like that, which would be like looking at my arm from this perspective as opposed to looking at my arm from this perspective.
Yeah.
So that's foreshortening. And so what you're talking about is like sort of foreshortening the halo, I guess, tipping it. That's really interesting. I'd be curious to know about that too. Um,
That's so cool. Yeah. So for all of us who've let our art history sort of like flop around in the background after today, is maybe a good day to get back on there and look at some Giotto paintings and read up a little bit and remind ourselves of everything we once knew in the world.
well, and
So
one more quick thing about that is that he also painted he did a lot of mural painting. He did a lot of frescoes where they painted fresh paint onto the freshly the wet plaster wall, and with the egg tempera frescoes, sometimes they were also onto drywall, but he painted them in such a way with the perspective that you're sort of talking about, leaning into that the viewer was drawn into the image and became a participant in the image, much in the same way you all are co-creating this beautiful space together. So it wasn't just that the painting and the image of Christ or whoever he was painting there in Italy was far away and removed, but it was part of the everyday life of the viewer.
that's really neat.
Yeah.
That was definitely a fascinating time in art history where they were playing with perspective and foreshortening, but not always exactly getting it right. So there are, or like right, but they were learning it as they went, right? So there's the
Yeah.
funny angles or the arm that couldn't really be in the sleeve or whatever the things are, and it's just such a neat time to sort of think about like the progressive journey of art history having some sort of parallel with other journeys that were happening at that same time, place and time, like where
Yeah.
other things were being discovered and other things were being better understood, and not unlike potentially everyday life still, right? Where we
Yes.
learned something or how we saw something or misunderstood something before. And so what a cool thing, Greta. Thank you for writing a song about Giotto and bringing that to us and letting us think today. I think we were going to talk a little bit about, since we're talking about our history classes, we were going to talk about your role as a teacher. Can we chat about that for a minute?
Oh, yeah, thank you for asking. Well, so early on, so I used to be a counselor. I used to be a counselor of domestic violence and sexual assault. And I did that for about 5 years in a local dual program where there was like a shelter and a hotline and things like that. And then I went to graduate school for creative writing with a focus on poetry. Um, and and let's see, I moved into sorry, I'm getting a little bit lost in my own thoughts here. Um, well, I moved into that for quite a while, and then I had a little bit of a turn at working at the national level in the domestic violence and sexual assault field. But then from there, I kind of moved into doing a lot of writing and editing. And at some point, I realized I wanted to be teaching. And so I got involved with a joint program between the Arts and Humanities Council of Montgomery County and the public schools here in Montgomery County, Maryland, where they had these after school programs and summer programs, enrichment programs for at risk youth. And I totally loved doing that kind of work. It was so inspiring and just wonderful to work with the kids and get to know them and create these things together. But I also found it very extroverted and very exhausting. So I moved more into teaching individual piano lessons. So these days I am teaching individual piano lessons at my studio here through Zoom and in person. And I'm also teaching songwriting with those students as desired. And I teach songwriting at the Montgomery College here in Maryland. And those classes will be coming up this summer, also over Zoom. So for those of you who might like to take a songwriting class and explore your desire to sing your own creations, I highly encourage you to look into that and sign up for that. I think I included a link for that for the chat. Yeah. Um, and I would love to see you there. And if you come, let me know that this is where you heard about it, because I would like to make that connection. But
Thank you.
yeah.
That's great. So yeah, there's a lot of links in the chat for Greta. She's got some incredible, incredible stuff going on. And Greta, I'm always super fascinated with artists who, like, so first, actually, I want to say how cool it is when we're going along here in the Daily Antidote of Song and we find out that someone in our midst is actually, you know, a professional or whatever word you want to use, a singer songwriter, you know, with their own releases. And so that happened, of course, with Johnny Harper, who we might all remember. And it happened with Jim Scott. And I forget there's others, like where we just start learning that there are folks in our room who are really out there, like making the art that we are all following. And Greta, I find like artists like Greta particularly fascinating because they dabble in all these different medium. And so, you know, that's like the artist who paints their own CD cover and whatever, sews their own socks. Like I find that so completely fascinating. And so thank you, Greta, for sharing all of this art and your artistic journey and this beautiful song. And I think we all agree Greta's like a perfect fit again for the Daily Antidote. And so I am very sure we'll be singing with her again in 2023. So Greta, thank you so much. Is there anything else on your list of links that you'd like to specifically mention? I see um, your acoustic guitar project or anything else that you want to specifically call out?
I have some music up on SoundCloud if you'd like to go check that out. A few of my piano pieces, as well as an acoustic guitar project piece, which I was invited to do a song. They basically pass around a guitar, and it's what you have 1 week to write one song with this one guitar and to record it. And so that project is up on the web. Um, uh, I also want to put in a plug for something called Free Minds Book Club, which is how I met my husband, Jim, because he and Busy Graham had put together this ad hoc chorus about 10 years ago as a fundraiser for Free Minds Book Club. And for those of you who might not be aware, it is an organization that puts literature, culturally relevant literature into the hands of folks who are incarcerated, particularly youth who are incarcerated as adults. And it's really a great opportunity to support them and help them lower their recidivism levels by giving them education and support systems when they come out of the jails, and giving them an opportunity to create and express themselves and realize passions that they may have that they never knew they had before or were invited to try. So, and I also want to say thank you to my secret Santidote, Jim's and my secret Santidote, for the gift of a donation to Free Minds Book Club. That was very much appreciated. I still don't know who you are, but we were very excited to get that. So thank you.
Wow, that's so great. Well, so actually, since we've got you in the room, if the secret Santidote is in the room, will you wave wildly at Aaron and I, and we'll let Greta know right here live. Is Greta's secret Santidote in the room, going once, Going twice? Aaron, I don't see anybody. Do you? No. Okay. So we're going to have to come back for our Secret Antidote party. And actually, we're sending out a Zoom doodle link, or maybe we did already. That is the option for 2 different days where we would do it after the daily. And we hope we're going to be able to arrange it that most of you can be together in the room on the same day as your Secret Antidote. And so please check the email for that either already or tomorrow for the link to fill out the doodle poll. And I was gonna say, Free Minds Book Club, is that the one that I took all of my kids to where we like wrote on people's poems?
Yes.
And yeah, okay, that was the most amazing thing, sitting with my 4 kids and having them edit poems, like edit or comment, critique poems from prisoners. And so they're learning so many things about so many different aspects of life in the context of holding a poem that was written by a prisoner in their hand and then thinking of things to say about it that are nice. And, you know, they were all different ages at the time. Like, I can't remember, like maybe between like 10 and 15 and it was just so moving. And then there were prisoners who came and actually spoke to us while we were sitting there, or I guess ex-prisoners who are now, I believe, actually working in the project themselves. And like, what an incredible, incredible thing. All those
Yeah.
arts prisoner program intersections are just the most amazing things. So yeah, let's give it up for Free Minds and for Greta and all the good folks in the room who work on that. I'm pretty sure Sandy Moore also is a pretty big player in that. And Sandy's someone who comes in here all the time.
Yeah.
And maybe there are others too who take part in that. I do actually want to say also one more quick thing, which is that where I met Greta for the first time, I think last month or the month before, was at one of Carpe Diem Art's house concerts. And we had a group or a duo called Larry and Joe. They're out of North Carolina. And I'm going to forget which one is which right now, but one of them is immigrated here and works a full-time job and has a lot to say and talk about in terms of immigration. And both of them said that they would love to come into the Daily Antidote. And the only day that they could come into the Daily Antidote was tomorrow, which, by the way, is Giotto's death date when Greta was going to sing. And Greta, because she saw Larry and Joe live and was completely moved, as was I, said, "Oh yeah, wait, I'm giving up my day." So that's why we are singing the day before Giotto's death day instead of the day on. And please tune in tomorrow for Larry and Joe. They were just spectacular. Greta, remind me, which one is Larry, which one is Joe? That's terrible that I'm not remembering.
Oh, I'm not quite sure either. I think Larry is the taller with the dark hair, and I think Joe is the fellow who is the immigrant
Richie's,
and more.
Richie's telling us we have it backwards.
Have it backward. Oh, sorry, Richie. Okay, there we go.
That's funny. Okay. So in any
Thank you
case,
for jumping in.
whichever one and whichever one, they are so beautiful in duo together. And in fact, Aaron, I'm going to ask you if you don't mind to find their website and pop it into the chat here and in the room. It's Larry ampersand Joe. And what I do know is they drove up for that concert and drove back to North Carolina right after they sang with us. And it was spectacular. So Richie was also there and potentially other folks. There's Sandy, I think maybe was there. I can't remember. It was just, yeah, Sandy says yes. It was amazing. And I'm so glad that they're going to come in here and that you guys are going to get to meet them all tomorrow. Just like I'm so glad that Greta was able to join us today because I'm fascinated. This is just so perfect when the community comes together in all these ways where it combines, the virtual and the in-person in ways where we're all experiencing both ways. So thanks so much, Greta, for being here today. Thanks so much, everybody, for showing up. Before we ask Greta to sing again, Greta, did you want us to do something with our sticky notes and our...
Yes, your sticky notes, your envelopes, your pencils, your pens, your crayons. Obviously, paint your dreams is a metaphor for something. It's a metaphor for pursuing whatever your own creative expressions are, and what your dreams are. So it could literally be painting, or it could be something like songwriting, or it could be something like writing stories or poetry, cooking for your neighbors, gardening, arranging your home in a beautiful way and inviting your neighbors in. Whatever your dream is for right now, I invite you to do a little sketching on this piece of scrap paper around it. Maybe think of it as a mini vision board for yourself. And, you can continue singing, please, if you will, and moving if you prefer. But if you want to sketch your dream, go ahead and do that. All right, so here we'll sing the song again. When Giotto was a shepherd boy, he liked making pictures of sheep on the earth next to the river under the cypress trees. But the wind and the rain always came to erase the artwork he made, and his secret wish was hidden away, a wish simply to paint. Oh, paint your dreams. Oh, paint your dreams. Oh. One day Giotto lost a lamb. His dad was really mad. The thought of that lamb all alone made young Giotto sad. But then a great painter showed the boy how to make frescos of flowers, ground up rocks mixed with eggs, gave him magical powers. Ooh, paint your dreams. Ooh, paint your dreams. Ooh, again. Ooh, paint your dreams. Ooh, last time. Ooh, paint your dreams.
Whew, Greta, thank you so much. That is a really, really beautiful song to sing. And it was really beautiful to be singing it while thinking of what the dreams were that if we had any artistic talent whatsoever visually, we would potentially.
Show them.
Yeah. So there's mine. And so that's me with lots of little people sort of teaching, singing, dancing, music, sort of passing it on, very much like what we're doing in this room, except focused on small people. And so I absolutely have had the opportunity to live that dream at different points. And sort of in the pandemic, I got away from the small people and I'm really missing them. And so I'm hoping to be able to sort of pull that back into what I'm doing right now. Can we ask folks to hold up whatever it was that they did so we can spotlight some folks with their dreams?
Carolyn in Boise.
Carolyn in Boise has a dream to love the DAS. Dream fulfilled. No, okay, lovely, Carolyn. Great. And Dan has a dream to maybe play guitar. Is that right, Dan? Beautiful. I love it. Do we have others? Can other people hold up their? Trish and Victoria has a dream. Maybe pull it back, Trish. I can't quite see it. Dream. Is that gardening maybe, or a tree, or a dream of a cloud? All right, Trish, yeah, here you go. I'm going to ask you really quick to share it. Do you want to unmute and tell us? Whoop, I'm going to ask you again. There you go. Okay, Trish can't unmute maybe. We're going to have, Trish, if you can, put it in the chat and Aaron will read it out loud. Okay, and we have a dream. Doug Varney has a dream. Selfish shortbread cookies. Pull it down a little bit so I can see above that. Greta, so either to make shortbread cookies or to eat shortbread cookies to make them. I love it. I love it. Kat has a dream. And Kat, I can't quite see it. Let's see what you can pull it forward. Okay. Aaron, feel free to help me out if you're seeing any of them better than I am. It looks like maybe to be outside or to,
I think it might be a house on a beautiful hill with some trees and
oh,
outdoors and beautiful.
beautiful. Rosalie, maybe a dream of gardening or of being a flower. And Don in the curly tops, a dream of having Findus. Well, you can't have him. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, a dream of having a dog. Is that a dream of having a dog? I love it. Aloysius, you have a dream? Aloysius is sharing his dream. Let's see. Aloysius, my artistic translation skills are not where they should be in life. Aaron, can you help out with Deborah's dream? Deborah, can you pull it down so we can see?
Let's see. It looks like a person either teaching at a board or maybe reading something off of a board.
Beautiful.
Dancing, teaching dancing.
Beautiful. I love it. That's so gorgeous. All right, Aaron, can you spotlight my screen just for 1 sec? I'm going to hold up. I don't know what Aloysius is holding up and I can't tell, but I'm going to just spotlight what Aloysius made for me as part of my Secret Santa. Do I have it the right way? No, this way? Wait, which way can you read it? That says not that way. Yeah, this way. I don't know. That says Jojo. That's a little sculpture made out of wire. And when I finally looked at it, I thought it was a duck. And he had to tell me to turn it upside down and turn it around. But like Aloysius, whatever your dream is, you've already hit your dream of being a sculptor. So thank you so much for my beautiful Secret Santa Dote gift. And Aaron, can we maybe just see if there's anybody else in the room that we can spotlight, even if we can't translate at this point? I see that Jim has one. I see Kathleen in Albuquerque I'm adding. I saw what looked like maybe Cynthia has something. Keep your things up, guys. We're going to spotlight you even if we don't have a way of translating your beautiful dreams. I see Deb. I'm going to get Deb. And I saw somebody holding up a purple envelope. And let's see. Oh, I'm adding you, Deb. Hang on 1 second. All right, Deb is now added. Look at all these beautiful dreams. All right, hang on. I'm taking me out. And can you see anybody else, Aaron, who's got something? Diane Weinstein's got something. Martha Wagner. I've got Diane. Whoops. Uh-oh, I just did the wrong thing. All right, so we're going to add Diane. We're going to add, oh, here's Cynthia in the purple. I'm adding you. And who else? Let's see. Keep them up if you want us to spotlight you. Keep them up. Keep them up. Cats, meow. We got you. I'm going to get you spotlighted. Here I go. Oh, Aaron, are you doing it or I'm doing it? Gary and Christy, I'm adding you. Dorian Ollie, I'm adding you. Gary and Christy, I'm adding you. And where did we get Cats Meow up here yet? Cats Meow, where'd you go? There we go. Maybe not yet. Cats Meow. There we go. Okay, Aaron, I got Cats Meow. Adding you guys. All right. Everybody take a quick look at all these beautiful things that everyone has made. And now, everybody, can you all pull them down so we can take a quick look at your beautiful faces? Everybody, I want to see the artist behind the scenes. Gorgeous. Thank you so much, everybody. How special. And really, I love all the participatory stuff. All right. Greta, thank you so much. Can we please give it up for a really fun day? You took us on a great journey today, Greta. It was really lovely having you.
Thank you so much. And I want to encourage everybody to share their dream with another person outside of this group. So share it with somebody else today if you can.
Beautiful. Thanks, Greta.
To help and actualize it.
Yeah, well, there, thank you. That's beautiful. All right. We are so excited to see all of you again tomorrow. And I'm sure also Greta and Jim and Richie and all the folks who already got to see Larry and Joe in person. And I am actually going to toss today's goodbyes over to the fabulous Erin Geyer coming in from Brooklyn, who is going to goodbye all of you out of the room. I want to thank everybody again for coming. Please, all of you, help me give it up for Greta one more time. Greta, thank you so much.
Thank you, you guys. Thanks so much. It's really
Thank
special.
you. Thank you. And thanks
Greta.
everybody
This
out
was
there on
so much
Facebook Live.
fun.
Yay. All right, Erin, I'm going to mute and you're up. And thank you so much, everybody. Lots of love.
Safe trip, Joe. Thank you so much, Greta. This was a ton of fun. It was a beautiful song and some beautiful words and beautiful things to think about. And I think it's a perfect way to launch us into the rest of our Saturday. And unfortunately, that means that it is time to say goodbye. All right, everybody. First of all, help me wave goodbye to all of our friends out there on Facebook. Facebook friends, we hope that you had a fun time drawing your dreams. And if you would like to take a picture of them and post them in the comments of today's video, feel free to do that. And if any of you would like to share yours out there on Facebook, feel free to take a picture of them and go and post it in today's Facebook Live video as well. That's a great way to share your dreams with other people, which is really beautiful and lovely. And I think it's now time to say goodbye to everyone here in this room. Goodbye to Richie. Bye to Amanda and Miles in Michigan. Bye to Kathleen in Albuquerque. Goodbye to Cynthia and Dorothy in BC. Bye to Deb. Goodbye to Diane. Goodbye to Cat's Meow, which is such a great name. Goodbye to Dory and Ollie, who is a cat who probably meows on occasion. Goodbye to Gary and Christy. Bye to Greta. Thank you again for a beautiful day today. Goodbye to Aloysius in Westford, Mass. I'm glad that you are negative and feeling positive. Goodbye and thank you to Carolyn in Boise. Bye to Bob and Mabel and the Cinnamon Bears in Massachusetts. Arlene in Berkeley, California. Goodbye to Leah in Illinois. Ruth in Birmingham in the UK. Bruce, goodbye. Goodbye to Dan in Vienna, Virginia. Goodbye to Nancy and her beautiful Irish cow. Bye to Annette in California. Linda on Orcas Island. Goodbye to Trish in Victoria. Linda in Concord, Mass. Martha, goodbye. Kate, lazy at home. What a perfect Saturday. Goodbye to Fred, Doug in Vermont, Kat in Vermont, and in Nashville. Let's see who else we've got. Jamie in BC, Lynn and Darla getting primped and preened and made even more beautiful than she is. She's already pretty darn beautiful, though. How can you make her more pretty? Bye to Deborah in Kentucky, Storm in Massachusetts. Bye to Pauline, William, and Phil in, I can't read the rest of that, but maybe it's Newcastle. Are you in Newcastle? Good. Goodbye to Sue, Bonnie in Boise, Idaho. Bye to Penny and Ralph in Victoria. Rosalie, still working on a dream drawing, I think. Bye to Jane in Texas. Hoda in BC. Our fearless leader, Busy Graham. Thank you so much for being here and for introducing Greta to us, bringing her to us. And goodbye to everybody off camera today. That is Storm, Cynthia and Dorothy. No, I already got you. Caroline in DC. Shari in New Hampshire. And I think that is everybody today, folks. So now, truly, it is time to say goodbye. Bye, everybody.